Alright, calm down, Dark Souls. Calm down. Hello everyone, give me just a minute to set up all the social media stuff. Woo. One more. Stream is live. Alright. Oh, actually, let's turn that down before I get a Dark Souls notification. Yeah. Alright. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the start of my Dark Souls 3 solo playthrough. Tonight, we're going to continue the series. Played through Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 2 already. Now, when I played through those on stream, I did not play them solo. I actually played with summons and stuff like that. This time, we're not doing that. And here's the opening cutscene.
Yes, indeed. It is called Lothric, where the transitory lands of the Lords of Cinder converge.
You know, Steve.
In venturing north, the pilgrims discover the truth of the old words.
Yeah.
The fire fades,
I'll explain why more Dark Souls after the cutscene.
and the lords go without thrones.
He's probably...
When the link of fire is threatened, the bell tolls, unearthing the old Lords of Cinder from their graves. Aldrich, Saint of the Deep, Farron's Undead Legion, the Abyss Watchers. And the reclusive lord of the profaned capital. Yom the Giant. Only in truth, the lords will abandon their thrones. And the unkindled will rise. Nameless, accursed undead, unfit even to be cinder. And so it is that ash seeketh embers.
Okay, so The reason I'm playing Dark Souls 3 instead of going back to Dreams or anything else right now is last year I actually started a quest to play through all of the Souls games on my own with no summons, completely solo. Just because even though I had beaten them multiple times, I've platinumed the games and everything, I've kind of been a little bit of the mindset that, like, to some extent, maybe every time I play through it, maybe I always use a summon for one particular battle or another, or something like that. So my thought was just to, you know what, I want to try and be able to beat these games entirely on my own without help. And I've done it for Dark Souls 1 and 2, which is why those playthroughs on stream, I did not worry about summoning. I summoned as much as I wanted in those. Literally a couple months prior, I had just done this solo run thing, so I was about to do it again. But Dark Souls 3 and Bloodborne, I actually have not done yet as solo runs, so this was an attempt to kind of appease my own curiosity, I guess, to see if I could do it. Ooh, Deprived was level 1. That might be the best. Wow, yeah, he actually might be the best in this one. I'm gonna be a Pyromancer. Pyromancer is nice. Sorcerer is nice. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Looks like he starts with like a short sword. Pyromancer starts with the hand axe. What do you think, Angela? Should I be a Pyromancer or a Deprived?
Oh, well, I feel like you've done Pyromancer before.
I've done all of these before, like...
You've also done Deprived?
I mean, the character classes don't entirely matter because you can spec your stats however you want afterwards. The only reason I'm saying that is because Pyromancer actually starts with a Fireball spell, which will actually be useful against the first boss in the tutorial area. When he goes into a second phase. However, the Deprived starts at level 1 with all of his stats being the same at level 10. Which means you can kind of...
You can kind of build him how you want.
Right. He's level 8, but he starts lower in some stats. So, like, he has 7 luck and 9 dexterity instead of 10. He's got a little...
I think you could do well with Deprived.
I'm sure I could do well with Deprived. It's just a matter of if I want to do Deprived. That's what I'm saying. I'm looking at the shield, and it sucks. I would have to deal with the first boss with just the wooden plank shield, which is not a very good one. Probably, out of all of the shields the characters have at the beginning here, Herald probably has the best one. Probably followed by the Cleric. Cleric's got a blue knight shield, I think. Unless it's a heater shield. But either way, those are a good shield. Do which one? You can't just say do it. So, let me think. Do I do Pyromancer or do I do Deprived? I was going to go for a caster class, so I was going to be getting mage materials and stuff like that. So, theoretically, starting with a Pyromancer or a Sorcerer is better. Chicken? What am I chicken about? What, you want me to do Deprived? Is that what you're saying, Steve? I could say just do it when there's a 6-week delay in message sent. But that's fair. Alright, I will do it. Now let's see, what do we want to take for our first gift? Could take the life ring. Ring set with a small red jewel raises max HP. We're not going to do that. We're actually going to take black fire bombs. Because those are going to help against the boss. Since we're not taking spells.
Okay.
Let's see. Face presets. Kareem, Katarina. Serpentine Traveler. What the fuck? Great Swamp Outcast. Who's black? That? I don't know if I'd call that black. I was kind of thinking like green.
Yeah, it looks kind of green.
Jaundice? I don't know if jaundice is a color, but And this dude is just like, I'm made of light. Let's start with Great Swamp Outcast. We don't care about them. Oh man, they really don't let you do the, Damn, that sucks. I was hoping there was a random button. Like there's in Dark Souls 2, but there's not. It's getting better. Oh. That makes more sense then. Maybe it does.
Like mouse-sized glasses.
Let's make them nice and orangey looking. Yeah, look at that. That's a human.
Yeah. Sure. Oh.
He's got like a yellow blush. Okay. Cheek color. Let's get some red cheeks. Let's do.
Red.
No, he's looking normal. I don't want that. I don't want the weirdo. Cool, I guess that'll be good.
Sure.
Oh. Did that totally just change everything back? No, it didn't. Face detail. Features. Face shape. Sure, why not? We'll stick with this dude. It's a little, I wish I could just randomize it, because the appearances are fucking crazy, and I don't feel like spending like 20 minutes trying to figure out how to turn my guy color purple. Alright. So, to give you a rundown of what's happening in this game. Just like Dark Souls 1, the first flame is fading once again. Because it always will. Fire always has to fade. It's the natural course of it. Except this time, basically, no one has risen to try to relink the first flame. The royal family in this era raised their son, Prince Lothric. He basically was destined to be a Lord of Cinder, they call them. Those are the people who relight the flame. He was born frail, and basically, like, there's no way in hell this dude is ever gonna show up and actually be the one to relight the first flame. However, in his studies, this Prince Lothric, he basically was taught by one of the scholars that maybe relighting the flame is not a good thing. He basically has gotten the idea in his head that it's actually unnatural to keep relighting the flame like this. It's not natural, it's not supposed to happen. It is supposed to fade and go out and usher in the Age of Dark. But they keep unnaturally basically stunting the evolution and the growth of this world because they keep relighting the flame. So now, in this, since Lothric has already been convinced that relighting is a bad thing, when it has become time and okay, the fire's about to go out, you have to go, relink it, he says no. And he locks himself in like the highest like tower in the castle. Because of that, there are essentially like, for lack of a better term, there are like redundancies and backup plans to kind of ensure that somebody will take care of it. So, what ends up happening is a bell tolls, possibly a Bell of Awakening from the first game, but the bell is to signify that, the bell is to wake up 5 previous Lords of Cinder, who had once relinked the flame, and basically calls on the 5 of them to do it again. They have to relink the flame again, all 5 of them at once, and that is... but they're called to relink the flame, the 5 of them together, and because since they did it once, their souls aren't powerful enough to do it again. That's why they need all 5. But at the same time, once they come back, they are aware that it's kind of a mistake to keep relinking the flame. So they opt not to sit on their thrones, and they just peace out. They just say, forget it, we're not going to be bothered to be part of this cycle anymore. And they basically take off for their homelands. Well, that kind of like further stresses the world, so to speak, and it goes to literally the last ditch attempt and hope. The character you play as, the Unkindled Ash. Essentially, you're playing as the resurrected spirit of somebody who once tried to relight the flame. They made the quest, they made the pilgrimage to do it, except when they actually got to the flame, they weren't strong enough to relight it. So the flame ends up just consuming them and not really doing anything else. So they're unkindled ash. They're unfit even to be cinders in the flame. They're just nothing. So now the idea is that as the unkindled ash, that once you not only built up the strength of your own soul, but once you've found the other Lords of Cinder, in this case 4, one of them does actually take his throne, and he actually is the one who sells you boss weapons. But outside of him, the other 4 don't take their thrones. So you have to actually go hunt them down and kill them in order to make your soul strong enough in order to relight the flame. Or at the very least to proceed to the kiln of the first flame, in which you could potentially relight the flame. So that is the quest that we're on at the moment. We need to... Oh good, I have 5 black firebombs. Of course this dude is going to do a bit about it. Come on, come around the corner. Nope, I don't want your bow friend to hit me. Oh ho ho. Nope, nope. No, we're not doing none of that, guys. Ooh, we got regular firebombs. That's good. That's good. We're definitely gonna need those. Alright, let's see how... Alright, so jumping in this one is by pushing in the left analog stick instead of circle. Haha! Take that Titanite shard, early upgrade material. Alright, I'm gonna heal up, because I'm actually not gonna run into the boss fight yet. First we're gonna attack, it's on that guy. It's a nice kill. So let's go back up. We're gonna heal at the bonfire. Start Estus Flask uses, and then we can get back there and we're gonna attack this. Alright, so now right now we don't need Ash and Estus Flask since we don't have any magic. That's something new in this. Instead of just having like you have so many uses of a particular spell, you actually have a mana bar. So you could use any spell as much as you want without having to worry about getting like additional instances of it or whatever. And all you really have to worry about is maintaining your MP. But now that you actually have a flask that heals that, a lot easier to do. Ooh, he was gonna tag on there. That wouldn't have been good. Alright. Since we know there's gonna be a guy in here. Oh, hi! Yep, we did. Alright. Great. Oh, and I got a chime. So if I wanted to start with miracles, I could do that. Alright, here we go. This is going to be our first boss. This is the tutorial area. This boss's name is Eudix Gundyr. He's not going to be too nice. I mean, look at this dude. He looks dead. Alright. He's got a sword shoved through his heart. He's got these... I mean, those look alive still. These black tendrils of darkness just coming out of his back. His face is all covered in blood. Now we're going to remove the sword out of him, because that's what we have to do. You think he's going to be grateful? He's not. He's going to be a dick now. Oh, yeah. I gotta remember I can't. Just for shield motion. Yeah, he's actually a pretty tricky first boss.
Oh yeah. Especially catching you off guard with his second form, like that.
Well, yeah, most of the other Souls bosses don't have a second form, especially at the start.
Yeah, so that's definitely.
Oh, okay, never mind. I guess I did not dodge that. Definitely have to heal up again. Yeah, no, he really kind of is. So, when he goes into the second form, that black stuff, there are actually some enemies we'll encounter in the game that have that as well. Actually called... Oh, excuse me. When he gets that effect on him, that is called the Pus of Man. Damn it. dude, with this fucking little chip damage it does on me. I don't like it. No chip damage before the boss, please. Thank you. Okay. There we go. We're in great shape. We didn't take any damage yet. Let's carve us up a boss. Oh! That was crap. Damn. Damn it! Yes! Oh my god! Woo! Ember restored. Hell yes it is. Yeah, it would have been hard if I died there too, because I had no more fire bombs. And he's substantially harder to beat that second form if you don't have any fire bombs. That's why they give you 5 in the tutorial area. Thanks, sir. Alright. Okay. To sort of answer a question you didn't ask before, Steve, but you kind of mentioned with the black firebombs, the reason they're black is because they do more damage. And obviously when things are blacker, they're deadlier, I guess. It's pretty racist, but I don't know. This fucker with his spear. Homeward Bone. Using one of those will take us back to the last bonfire we used, just like in Dark Souls 1 and 2, and all of them. That doesn't even give you a parry. Yep, bye. Though I will say I actually was not trying to backstab him, I was trying to kick him. Like that. Yeah. Kick you right off the leg. Ooh. Backstab. That's the one I already saw. Okay, killed that thing already. Now there are a couple things in this starting area. Oh shit! Got little dogs. Yeah, I forgot there were dogs. But there are going to be a couple things in this area that we are actually not gonna really bother trying to tackle right now because it's gonna be kind of hard for us. Especially because we don't have a parrying shield for one. Which is a big no-no, we gotta correct that soon. Kind of even more than like leveling up, we kind of need a shield that actually functions. But there are a couple challenges here in this opening area. One of them which I didn't even go by just because going near it even is dangerous. But essentially there is, in this game, there are the crystal lizards that you kill to give you upgrade materials. Well, in this game there's giant crystal lizards. Basically, think of like either, you know, those guys mutated. Either a little one mutated, or it's just like a mama. Let's see if that shield does anything for me. Well, it's doing a shit ton better in terms of blocking, so we'll start there. There we go, it's a parry and shield. Still don't think we're gonna fuck with it right now, because it's just gonna be too hard. Embers are your humanities in this game, because in this, you're not an undead who's, you know, inhuman. You're unkindled ash. So you need to ember instead of becoming human. pretty much everything out of here, I think. With the exception of the giant crystal lizard, which, again, we're not fighting. And then there's this guy. That is a guy up there who is naked, like me. He is deprived. However, he's wielding a weapon called the Uchigatana, which is a, I mean, it's a katana. But this dude is like a master of it. His name is Master something even. And he will fuck you up in like one shot if you try to mess with him now. Because he is that deadly. So, we're gonna skip him for right now. We'll come back later when we're a little bit stronger. Maybe some better gear. Be a little bit easier to take him out. And this is our hub for this game. This is Firelink Shrine. And there's the thrones. As you can see, there's 5 thrones spread out across this. And right here, you can see there's one guy sitting on his throne. That's Ludlith of Courland. As I mentioned earlier, he is the one Lord of Cinder who decided to reclaim his throne. And here's our Firekeeper. She is going to be imperative for us for the rest of the run. All your leveling up and stuff is done through her.
Welcome to the bonfire, unkindled one. I'm a Firekeeper. I tend to the flame, and tend to thee. The lords have left their thrones, and must be delivered to them. To this end, I am at thy side. Ashen One, to be unkindled is to be a vessel for souls. Sovereignless souls will become thy strength. I will show thee how. Ashen One, bring me souls plucked from their vessels. Very well, then touch the darkness within me.
That's
Take
dirty.
nourishment from these sovereignless souls.
Cool. Okay.
Farewell, Maid of Flame.
The reason we left her is because we're going to actually pop these souls quick. All these little baby bonus souls we picked up. Give us every little bit we could possibly get at the moment for leveling up and buying better equipment. Speaking of better equipment, I'm not sure yet what weapon I'm going to use for this game. Oh, here's a nice vendor.
A pleasure to make thine acquaintance, Ashen One. I am but a humble handmaid of the shrine. Weapons, armor, trinkets, and spells. I've lots of little things to ease the burden of a weary traveler. And yes, I'm undead too, but not so charitable as to give my goods away.
Good night, sweetie.
Ashen One, fetch souls.
I know, you always go right in. Come here, give me a kiss.
As is thy want? No?
Love you. Alright, so now this shrine handmaid in this game, she functions like basically your main vendor. She will sell you all sorts of, you know, basic weapons, essentially the weapons and armor that starting characters would more or less be using. She's got a little bit better in terms of shields. Same thing with weapons, but she's got like a couple different varieties, a couple things like that. A key, a couple of basic spells, some poison moss, stuff like that. Now the thing with her in this game though is that you can actually upgrade the shop. So throughout the game you'll find ashes, like soldier's ashes or unknown ashes. If you come back to her and you give her the ashes, it'll increase what she has in her shop inventory. So you'll be able to pick up better armor, better weapons, better just consumables, stuff like that. We don't really have much to do with her right now, so we're kind of just going to let her go. But then back over here, our boy from Dark Souls 1 is back again.
Well, a newcomer, I see. I am Andre. I serve at this shrine as a humble smith, forging weapons. You're in search of the Lords of Cinder, I trust. A toilsome journey, I'd wager. You'll require good arms. Let me smith you weapons. I am a smith. Such is my purpose.
Now, just like Dark Souls 1, he functions as your all-around blacksmith. You can't buy equipment from him, but he can reinforce your weapons to make them stronger. He can infuse it with a gem, so like a fire gem will make your fire weapon, so on and so forth. He can repair your stuff. Now, he can allot Estus. What that does is you can sit here and you could actually say, you know what, I'm not worried about my heals, I'm worried about how much magic power I have. So you can make it so that you have all of the blue flask, which is to restore your MP. Now, since I don't have magic at all, right now, we're going to put everything into regular Estus. Reinforce Estus flask is to, of course, make it stronger.
Weapons and protect, but when they're durability, use a powder, but should chance impact, I'll hammer them back. They take not so handle. Pretty be careful.
And part of the way he infuses stuff is throughout the game, kind of like the Ashes with the Handmaiden. You'll find, well, basically like in the first game, you had to find embers that you had to give to him, and then the embers would coincide with, okay, you gave him this ember, now he could start infusing weapons of fire type. You gave him this, okay, now he could start doing this. And here we go. Hawkwood the Deserter.
Ah, another one roused from the sleep of death. Well, you're not alone. We unkindled are worthless. Can't even die right. Gives me conniptions. And they'd have us seek the Lords of Cinder and return them to their moulding thrones. But we're talking true legends, with the metal to link the fire. We're not fit to lick their boots.
That's an emote. Collapse. So if you haven't figured it out from my talking to him yet... There's the laughter. He's the character you can find in every Dark Souls game in one of the starting areas. He's the Crestfallen Warrior. He is the one who's on the same quest as you, but he's already given up hope of being able to complete it. But
What a
talk to
sick,
him.
asking us to seek the Lord. Talking true legends.
Eventually we'll get to a point where, I mean, we could summon him in for a fight, but we're not going to do
Asher,
that.
produce the coiled sword at the bonfire. The mark of ash will guide thee to the land of the lords. To Lothric, where the homes of the lords converge. Very well, then touch the take nourishment.
Let's level up a little bit. Alright, to start, we are going to get some strength, because we are going to need it for equipping some weapons. Equipping better weapons, and doing more damage.
Farewell, may the flame.
Okay. Now we produce the coiled sword, which, this is actually something I would really like in real life. I would really like an actual, like, you know, outside bonfire thing that just resembled like this little kiln thing with like the coiled sword in it and stuff. That I would really like that as like a piece of my backyard, you know. Now again, you sit at a bonfire, you get some more options, just like you would in Dark Souls 1. Travel takes you wherever you need to go. Tune spell, equip spells. Organized storage box is just some infinite item box to jump all your shit in. Burn Undead Bone Shard, that allows you to I think that strengthened the effectiveness of your Estus flask. And then I think a lot before at Andre was to, that was to make it so that you have more Estus flasks to use. I think. I don't know, don't quote me. Anyways, let's go to the first area, High Wall of Lothric. Alright, here we go. We're at the High Wall of Lothric. Shit is so beautiful. Look at all that. Gorgeous. I hope that one of the people who had tuned into one of my streams by the name of Blitzgirl, she's actually friends with another Facebook group for a group of guys called RKG. She had mentioned that she didn't much care for this game because she had trouble beating that first boss, that Udic Skundir. And it kind of just prevented her from ever really getting into the game. I can totally understand that. I hope maybe if she gets around to seeing me do it, maybe she gets some ideas for a better way to do it. Because I would definitely say that this is a game very much worth playing. Yeah, come on. There you go. Dead dog. Pooch number 2, come on. Yeah, bark, bark, you're barking. Okay. Backstab! Ooh, I did not do enough. That did it. Woo! Look at this dude. Sally jumps a lot over here. These people are like turning into trees. Now the thing about this, and you kind of can't tell here, later on it'll be more apparent in another area. But you can see there's like these black like tendrils kind of coming out of the back of them and stuff. So it's kind of supposed to be a little bit related to that guy I mentioned, the boss, how he was the Pus of Man. The Pus of Man is basically when like your humanity has kind of gone wild, and it kind of is like emerging forth from your body as like this other thing. There's not too many of the Pus of Man guys around. There's a few of them here and there. That's a shortcut we can't open yet. Now there's another Pus of Man guy up here on this other ledge, and that's a dead end, so we actually don't really have to fight him. But part of the reason I want to come over and show you this and show you these is because, so that's actually, they're not turning into the Pus of Man, but something is drawing the humanity out of them, and that's why they're turning into these like trees. That's actually all like the humanity being ripped from their bodies. And like I said, you'll see later there is an enemy that does that. Oh, there's the Pus of Man. Fucked up. Oh, yeah, fucked up. Woohoo! There's not an illusion ahead. He was a liar. We'll take a couple of free backstabs. Oof. What's up? You don't want to come by? Yeah, there we go. Thank you, Plus Man. Maybe not. Yeah. Those guys hit really hard. It's really, really strongly recommended you use fire magic. Well, not necessarily fire magic, just fire. Whether it's a fire-infused weapon. Before we go down, oh wait, there's another dude I missed. Backstab. And as you can see, this is a dragon, a dead dragon. Oh boy. Whoa! Oh yeah, I forgot about the fire bombs. Yep, I should have killed that dude. Let's go get this firebomb. Yeah, a little bit. Oof. Binocular. His wing disguises, not a shortcut, but disguises the path to an item. Gold pine resin, which is pretty good. Gold pine resin allows you to temporarily infuse your weapon with lightning magic. Or lightning damage, rather. Fireball. I like those. Oh, cool. I did an emote on accident. this spot is going to be tricky. All those dudes. Thank you, dragon. Now, of course, there is a way to kill him. And I definitely don't have that way to do it, because I only have 12 arrows. But, like, all the dragons that do this kind of thing in the Dark Souls game, you can just buy a bow and arrow and a bunch of arrows. You can just sit here for 10 minutes just shooting at them. He'll go down eventually. Whoa, he wasn't supposed to go there. Yep. I don't care about you guys trying to attack me and kill me. Aw, for real? There we go. Whew. Sit at the bottom. Great. Full health and Estus flasks back. Oh, you're a whore. Stupid Lockwood Knight. What the fuck? Yeah. Fuck you. Give me that ember. Yes. So this is right underneath that dragon, so if you could kill him, or at least run past him and get underneath him, you can open the door and get in here, and there's some goodies. There's... let me think, what goodies are there? There's a mimic. down there. He's got something. I don't know what he's got. I know he's got something. Three fire bombs. That's always good. Since we've used a couple Estus flasks, let's actually go back up here. Heal up the bonfire again. Let's go back down. We definitely still need a better shield. Him. That's where we have to go. Backstab. Locked. I don't have the key to open that yet. So, if you didn't pick up on that, that guy's throwing firebombs. And all those barrels that I just went through, they're all filled with explosive shit. So if you let him get off a firebomb, and it hits him just the right way, he is gonna absolutely destroy you with it. He's gonna blow up all the bombs in the room, and it's gonna take you out. Ooh, I think we're gonna use that. I can't yet. I need 12 dexterity. Well, looks like we know what we're leveling up next. Ah. This is a character for a side quest. Can't open it yet, but once we beat the first boss, we're in the area of the first boss. I don't quite remember. We will find a key to open his cell up. Alright, now let's go out here. Now out here, we're gonna get to fight another one of everybody's favorite enemies, the Pus of Man. Oh shit! Well, before we fight the Pus Man, we're gonna fight a bunch of regular undead soldiers. Backstab. Cool. Okay. Now, there's 5 guys over there, as you can see. One of them turns into the Pus of Man. Oh, fuck, that hit the wrong one. Well, that's not good. Come on. One-shotted. One-shotted. You couldn't even see how he hit me. I couldn't see how he hit me. But apparently he did. Let's do it again. Got him. Damn it. Cool. Raw gem. That allows you to, like... I don't know what to explain it. A raw gem is basically kind of like... To infuse with a raw gem is basically to make it so that, like, it's the most powerful its, like, base stat could be. But it makes it so that you, like, can't infuse it. I don't know, man. I don't know. I never use the raw gems. Yep, fuck that up. Smoke fire bombs. Oh, yep, we need to kill these dudes. Going in this way is going to be a little dangerous. There are some knights in here. Okay, so before I go in there, oh. Item in there, Undead Hunter Charm. Okay, before we go out there and fight that dude. Excellent. Okay, good. No enemies popping up. What the fuck? Okay. So he killed me with a shield push? Okay. What the fuck? So sometimes you see me, but sometimes you don't. There we go. There's that dude dead. Alright, now let's go kill the Pussy Man again. Oh, okay. Never mind. Don't worry about the fact that I hit dodge there. I definitely did not hit dodge there. What I actually did was I hit no buttons, and I just sat there and I let him just go right through my shield and then kill me. I forgot to tell everybody else, though, that that was the plan. did not die. Oh shit, I almost walked right off of that. That would have been really bad. Backstab. Backstab. Yes. Yes. You can eat a dick. Broadsword. Let's see if I can use that. Ooh, I can use it. Cool. Silver Eagle Kite Shield. Yes, please. Oh, look at you with your 100% physical block rate. That's all we want. Oh, that's right. Right. Titanite shards, those are great. That means I got upgrade materials. Man steel. Estus shard. That's going to allow us to get another Estus flask. If I remember correctly, and there's a very good chance I don't, I think you can get up to... Ooh. I think you get your Estus flasks up as high as 15 in this. And like I said before, you're free to like split them up however you want. Cell key. That allows us to, if we want, we can go back and we can free that guy from his jail cell. Don't think we need to do it right this second, but it's good to have. Cool. That is not a mimic. Ooh. That is something we want, though. The Astora Straight Sword. Can we use it? We need more faith, actually. Interesting. No, I mean, I guess that makes sense. But... yeah, you know what? We might be putting 2 points into faith, so we could use that. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not sure what weapon we're gonna use yet. I still haven't decided that. You guys. I know I've already been in here. This is just to get some more souls to level up with. And to upgrade my weapons and stuff. I might end up just sticking with the broadsword for now. If only because I don't have access to too many different weapons. And I could actually probably upgrade it a couple of times because I did find a few Titanite shards. But... we shall see. Let's try to open a shortcut before we do that. So there's like a crazy civil war going on. There's the Blue Knights and the Red Knights. As far as I understand it, and I could be wrong, it has been a while, I'm not as fresh on the lore in this, but if I'm not mistaken, I do believe that these are the two different sects of Lothric Knights. There are the ones who believe the fire should be relinked, and then there are the ones who do not believe that anymore. To follow Prince Lothric. Rapier. I'm gonna use a rapier. Can't even use a rapier. I don't wanna fuck with you, go away. Yeah, Steve, essentially none of it is in the main dialogue. Pretty much all the bits of lore you can get is just... I mean, it's shit like this. Like, look, I'm looking at Bastard Sword right now. There you go. That's what you get for for lore, stuff like that. It'll tell you a little bit about like oh yeah, Orthodox metal shield. Like, none of these are anything particularly crazy yet because there's all the early on stuff, but later on, like Astora, before its fall, was a land replete with royal blood, and this weapon is both a reminder and heirloom of that era. We've never seen Astora. Astora's never been in any of the games. We've only ever heard about it in lore dumps like this, you know? It's very, very fascinating stuff, especially if you take the time to, like, really learn about all of it. Like, I watch a guy on YouTube named Vati Vidya, V-A-A-T-I, and then Vidya is V-I-D-Y-A, you know, like Vidya. He does some very, very extensive, in-depth lore breakdowns. Dude really knows his stuff. I highly recommend, if you're interested in the lore of these games at all, I highly recommend checking out his channel, just because you'll learn some really interesting stuff about some of the characters in this game. In particular, like with this one, there's a optional boss you get, which is one of my favorite bosses in the entire series of games. His name is the Nameless King. Pretty much the entire thing with his character is that it's implied, because again, nothing is ever directly said. You have to make a lot of inferences. I shall. Good idea, Steve. Shit, now I got a brain fart. Oh my god. Oh, so there's an optional boss you can find later on named the Nameless King. Very, very cool boss fight, very, very cool enemy. Well, he's named the Nameless King, but the reason he's named the Nameless King is because the lore behind him is that Gwyn, the final boss from the first game who set all this stuff in motion, he had Guinevere, which we saw in the first game. That was the big giant lady with the huge boobies. There's Guinevere, that was his daughter, and then there's Gwendolyn, who was his son, but because he was frail and born under a lunar sign, they just decided to raise him as a girl. Well, Gwyn had another son who was exiled. Don't know why he was exiled exactly, but the prevailing theory is that he, during the war with the dragons, before Dark Souls 1 takes place, he ended up siding with the dragons, at some point, and, like, befriended one of them. He became a dragon rider. It's actually part of his boss fight. He's riding this cool-ass fucking, like, thunder drake. It's awesome. But, as a result of that, he was exiled. Not only just exiled, Gwyn erased all record and mention of him. If I were to take you back into Dark Souls 1 and show you, there's actually a spot you can go to where you can see a bunch of statues of Gwyn and his children, and there's very, very clearly a podium there with a statue that was supposed to be there, but there's nothing. The other thing... Ooh, no, bad. The other thing is that it's thought that this firstborn child, the Nameless King, that he created the Warriors of Sunlight Covenant, the one that Solaire is a part of, the one that's all about jolly cooperation. Because, again, back in Dark Souls 1, if you look at where the what would you call it? There's a... When you're dealing with the Covenant, there's a statue that you interact with, and that's where you can turn in, like, the Covenant item, which is the Sunlight Medals. You can turn those in for, you know, ranks in the Covenant. Well, the statue that you're doing it to is actually just called the Altar of Sunlight in Dark Souls 1. And if you look at it for a second, it's because it looks like it's a statue that was smashed to bits. So that's again one of the thoughts that maybe this dude actually started that covenant, and that's why the thing is smashed to bits, because nobody can know about him. Get the fuck out of here. This asshole. Alright, I'm just coming up here to get this, and now I'm gonna fight this dude. Lucerne. Let's go back to the shrine. Alright, now we're gonna get a couple levels, and we are gonna level up some of these weapons. Did I get any more? Yeah, I did get some consumable souls. Let's pop all those bad boys. Okay. There we go. That's a nice chunk of souls. 8,000? That's beautiful.
Ah, 'tis good this one needs.
One needs smithing. Well, sir, let me tell you what needs smithing. I need 2 Titanite shards for that, and I have 4. I don't know, store straight sword or rapier. You know what, I'm gonna go with the straight sword. Yeah, more shards for that, that's okay. Those repair, everything's repaired. We can't fuse yet.
Be careful, I don't want that.
Okay. Now let's get a couple of points into faith.
Welcome home.
So that we properly
Very well. Then
use the Astora straight sword.
May the flame.
Alright, now let's see. That's the Astora straight sword. Cool. Okay. We're gonna go to High Wall now, because now that we open that shortcut, we have a much easier path of getting to the boss. We don't have to worry about fighting so many of these nasty enemies that are just in the way. I can't parry those knights now because the shield I'm using doesn't have a parry. So this game did something far different from Dark Souls 1 and 2, which is why it incorporated the magic system, is it created something called, skills. Each weapon and shield has, like, skills associated with it now. So in this instance, just to give you an example, if I can get the top back on my bottle of soda, because I'm dumb. There we go. Okay. Normally, when you parry with a shield, you tap the L2 button, and you would get a thing that's like a they go to start doing a swipe. But if I hold L2, you see I start doing this other move. Basically, I'm getting into a power stance, which will let me do a much more powerful attack. that upward swing. Now, if you look, my blue bar went down as well. So it's not necessarily that your blue bar is magic points. It actually stands for FP, but I forget what the F stands for. And basically all of your functions will use that. So if you're gonna use the ability skills that are on weapons and armor, that's gonna cost you some of your blue bar. If you want to use yeah, fucking points. Might as well be. Why not? But, I think maybe it might be focus points. But once you use, you know, magic will use it, all that stuff, and then the blue Estus Flask, which is your Ashen Estus Flask, restores your focus points. Too bad. We're making a pretty good time tonight, all things considered. Okay. Now I am going to try to make this jump again. And I am gonna fuck it up again. Haha! I made it that time. Aw, it's just a ring of sacrifice. Still pretty good, but unnecessary. We don't want to fuck with him. Hey, what's up, Diet Coke? That's right. That's right, you should come over here and fight me. Don't stand over there. Don't stand near your buddy. Come fight me. Damn, that sucks. Backstab. Ooh, Lothric Knight set. We're definitely gonna have to equip some armor soon. Oh, not really. We don't really need armor too much. I wouldn't know. Outside of my nephews, and you know, that's even like teaching like how to get through Mario. There we go. I'll tell you what, man. I don't think I've ever had a more proud moment than when my nephew was like, I want Smash Brothers for Christmas. And I was like, you do? Hell yes. Nice backstab. I don't know about that. Not nearly as good as you. That's just funny. Every once in a while, he'll like Well, I should say every once in a while. He loves playing video games with me, but every once in a while he'll either teach me something that I didn't know about a game, and I'll be like, alright, well, you know, fuck me. Or he will just, like, want me to teach him about something, and I'll be like, alright, so this is what you gotta do. It's awesome. I love playing video games with my nephew. Oh, this dude with his fucking divine sword. I am. Oh, fuck you with this sword. What? Wow! Dude chipped me with his sword as I was attacking him. That was enough to kill me. Damn! Well, there goes 2,300 souls. That's okay. That wasn't really enough for anything. Yeah, that guy killed me as soon as I landed. Not this time, you fuck. I should get a shirt. Alright. You dead. Yeah, come on. I threw a knife at you. What are you gonna do? You're just gonna walk at me slowly, huh? That's it? Yeah, I need you to come up here. I need some even ground for us to compete on. Alright, there we go. Now, before we go up there and fight Mr. Blue Knight, motherfucker, it's gonna whoop our ass. There's two things here. One, we have to come here to talk to this woman to get a thing. Two, there's actually a boss in here, but it's kind of a later game boss. Unless you feel like being a dick, you can attack this woman and kill her, and it'll make the boss appear.
Ah, the wait has been long, Unkindled One. I am Emma, High Priestess of Lothric Castle. Allow me to speak frankly. You will not find the Lords of Cinder here. They have left, gone, to their journey homes converging at the base of this castle. Head to the bottom of the high wall, forge on through the great gate, and raise this banner to proceed. This farewell gift is for you. It is the insignia of an old covenant. If you fear trespassers, dark spirits drawn by the embers, then etch this upon your heart, and the old Concord will beckon noble blue sentinels to hunt these foul spirits.
Way of Blue, that's the first covenant. So you can equip, instead of it being like a thing you have to go talk to somebody and switch it up and everything, they're basically like, well, excuse me, they're basically like, for lack of a better description, merit badges, and you can equip one at a time and it'll put you in that covenant, but if you dequip it, you lose all your ranks and stuff.
Unkindled One, head to the high wall's base. Go through the great gate and raise this banner to proceed. But beware. The dog keeps a close eye on things.
Oh, the dog,
the
that's gonna be the boss.
Watchdog of the Boreal Valley.
Yeah, the watchdog of the Boreal Valley. So that's gonna be the boss we're fighting. He's literally gonna be at the bottom of this staircase here. Now something that's interesting about this, especially when you compare it to Dark Souls 1, a lot of Dark Souls 1 is kind of upward movement. Outside of, you have to go to Blight Town, you have to go downward a little bit. For the most part, everything is kind of like escalating upwards. You gotta go up to the bell tower to ring the first Bell of Awakening by fighting the Bell Gargoyles. You gotta go up Sen's Fortress, beat the boss there, and you'll get grabbed by the Bat Demons that'll carry you up to Anor Londo. Everything is kind of this progression of kind of going upwards, like you're kind of like, you're slowly reaching up into the realm of gods. You're slowly starting to get up there. This game plays it a little bit differently. This one is more about descent. It's more about descending down into what's left than it is about ascending into greatness. Now, let's see if I can beat this dude without dying this time. Come on. Let me stab you in the back. Backstab! Woo-hoo-hoo! Yeah, no. Don't put that buff on your sword, asshole. You left yourself open. Great. Now he's dead. We got the refined gem from him. We don't have to fight him anymore. Now we can head down to the boss. And as we're closing in on 2 hours, this is probably going to be it for the night, assuming I could beat him in a try. Might take a couple of tries just because I'm a little rusty at Dark Souls 3. I haven't played this one in a long time. I haven't played this one since the last DLC came out for it. And I think that was like 2017. So this one in particular is overdue for playthrough, let alone a solo playthrough. Now these are all dead guys. Yeah, these guys are all dead. You can kind of barely make them out. They're wearing some kind of hood. You've got these like staves with like the funeral smoke thing attached to it. They got these big ass stone turtle shells strapped to their back. Now, like I had mentioned earlier, you kinda can see it. Well, you can see there's little bits of stuff. Damn it, stop doing that. There's the little, like, things coming off of the shells and everything. So basically, in an effort to stop their humanity from being, like, pulled out of them, like all the trees I've been pointing out, they basically put these giant turtle shells on to kind of keep it, like, suppressed and held down inside their body. Ultimately, it didn't really save them because they died regardless, but just an interesting little thing. And here's the first boss. We gotta come in here first. We gotta go check out this thing. Yeah, those guys in particular are called pilgrims. They actually do have a role to play in this story to some extent, but again, if you're getting into all the lore and alternate endings and stuff. And now this is the first boss. The Watchdog of the Boreal Valley. Now, interesting thing here is I mentioned there was a boss at the top of the stairs if you kill that lady. The boss at the top is called the Dancer of the Boreal Valley. Another one of my favorite boss fights in this entire series. But her whole thing is the Watchdog and the Dancer they actually work as a pair. Don't like your ice shit. Thank you. Woohoo! Oh boy. Yep. So when he does that, like, roar, he goes into his second phase, and he gets a power-up. He starts doing an attack where he starts basically, like, charging across the battlefield back and forth. I don't know if you can block it at all. You might not be able to even block it, but if he hits you with that, there is a pretty high chance of death. Oh no! Well, that's a high chance of death too. Forgetting to send the elevator back up. I deserve that death. Damn. Damn. That's true, that guy did fall down after me and died. Okay, now let's activate the switch. There we go. Good, now he's on the elevator back up. You're both dead. Luckily, I don't need to fight everybody. Nice, Steve. Thanks for tuning in, man. Ugh. Backstab, alright. Fantastic, let's start this off right. We're not at full health, but that's okay. We got this. So come on, Bort, you big pussy. What the fuck? Okay, I guess that didn't dodge. See what I could do with armor. Alright, I'm gonna go with just this armor. See if that helps. Boom! You're done. That's what's up, boy. Woo! Ember restored. Thank you. Thought that went rather well as well. Now the door opens. Beautiful. And now that we've beaten this, come down here and you look at the rest of the city. It's beautiful. And just like Dark Souls 1, you can see areas that you're going to go to. You don't know it now, but you will. We're going down there next. Basically, we're going to get no, not quite that big. But you can it's hard to really like point out right there, but if you look at like where the tip of my sword is pointing right now, that's essentially where we're going to get dropped off. When I raise this banner, these demons are going to come, they're going to pick me up, and they're going to drop me off right there, and then we're going to have to start proceeding forward. Oh. However, down there, you can see there's kind of these like 3 towers that are sticking up high. Later, there's going to be an area we go to called Farron Keep, where we're going to need to... There's actually going to be fires that we need to either start or put out in each of those towers. And that's going to help us get through that area. But I always like that there's you can actually see where you're going. You can actually visualize it. That's probably the Cathedral of the Deep over there, if I had to guess. But yeah, so let's raise the banner and see what happens. The one thing I think is weird about it is, why does the third one even come up? Like, he doesn't grab you at all. Like, he's got to show the other 2 the way. Put him down here. So, like I said, now here we are. We are at the base of the High Wall of Lothric. We're at the Undead Settlement. He's got the Kush. Dude, I could use some Kush right now. Fuck. We ran out this morning. So now let's go back, see what we can get in exchange for the boss soul, and maybe we'll get a couple levels. Alright, so first let's go talk to Ludlith. See what he's got on offer for spells. Yeah. Thanks, I appreciate it, but I'll be fine. We got our guy coming by tomorrow. It's just that it was like, damn, how soon can you get out of here? He's like, Friday night. Like, damn, could you make that Thursday morning?
Oh, thou art unkindled, and a seeker of lords. I am Ludlith of Corland. Look not in bewilderment as I say. I linked the fire long ago, becoming the Lord of Cinder. If substantiation be thy want, set thine eyes upon my charred corse. This sad cadaver, no need to be coy. Have a closer look. Knowest thou of our purpose? 5 thrones will take 5 lords as kindling for the linking of the fire. The fast-fading flame must be linked to preserve this world. A reenactment of the first linking of the fire. So it is, I became a lord of Cinder. I may be but small, but I will die a colossus. Knowest thou of our 5 apes? Now.
Shit, what do I have to get? Okay, so as I'm thinking about it, there's an item you have to get to give to him in order to allow you to... I think you have to give him the transposing kiln, and once you give him that, he will allow you to start making boss weapons. So I'm gonna say, I don't want to use the port soul yet. So let's just get a couple levels. Actually, let's see if we could upgrade our weapon first. Then we'll get a couple weapons.
Tis good what needs.
Damn, I need 3 more Titanite shards.
Try to aim, be careful, go then.
Can you sell me Titanite shards? You cannot. Oh, could sell me Soul Arrow and Farron Dart. Those are useful spells. Yeah. Alright, yeah, looks like I'm just getting some level ups.
Welcome her, speak then. Very well, then touch take no. Let these souls withdrawn from their essence, manifestations described, elucidated by deep within, retreating from
Blood 1 goes up by 1 if you do that. No.
Farewell, I made the...
Actually, let me see if I could go over to... there's another spot we could go to. So the key that we can buy from the merchant actually opens a gate that's over here. I'll come out here first to check this stuff out. So this is one of those, if you remember from the second game, this is one of those giants that's been overcome by a tree. And this will give you an item called the Seed of a Giant Tree. None have fallen yet. You can check back periodically and they'll have some. But a Seed of a Giant Tree, what that lets you do is, if I got invaded, so like let's say Tex, you invaded my game and you were hunting me around and stuff like that. Well, normally when you invade somebody's game, enemies don't take notice of you. So, because you're trying to kill me because you invaded my game, there won't actually be a, none of the enemies will actually try to attack you or get in your way. And a lot of people, when they PvP, they like to use the enemies as, like, choke points to force people into combat and into bad ambushes and shit like that. Well, if you use one of these Seeds of a Giant Tree, it'll actually change the world state so all the enemies will now notice the invader and they will start attacking him. So you could totally fuck somebody up. Now, this is what we need that key for, that we don't have enough souls for because it costs 20,000. And then you could drop that ladder down to get back up there and stuff. However, there is another way to do it, and I'm definitely not going to be able to do it because I've never been able to do this, but you can actually run onto this tree, and if you time it right, you can hop on, you can jump onto the little roof there, and you could totally skip having to buy the key. Let's see if I can do it. Try one more time.
here.
Okay, well, yeah, like I said, I'm not gonna be able to do it. So we're actually just gonna go back here. Patches is not here yet. Patches is a dick. Let's see him when we get to him. Oh yeah, that's right, this guy's up here.
Unkindled, are we? And fast on the trail of the Lords absconded? Then these red eyes are for you.
So crack that red eye orbs, you use those to invade people's games. So if somebody's giving you those, they're probably somebody that has a PvP related questline, or you'll see them show up
Use
as
them
a
to
phantom.
pillage embers and briefly heighten your strength for your duty. What else are unkindled at? Pillage embers. What else?
That is totally okay, man, because I'm about to finish up myself. I'm going to warp back to that last bonfire I was at, and then I was going to call it a night. Foot of the High Wall. Good luck with your student-parent conferences tomorrow, man. I can only imagine what that's like. Oh, excuse me. Well, to everybody else who tuned in or who is going to tune in into the future, thank you very much for joining me tonight. Let's see, where's the wave? There we go, there's a wave. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoy the stream. Give me a like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. Tell your friends about me. Tell your friends to watch. Force them to watch. Whatever you gotta do. But thank you very much, and have a good night.